Okay, it's time for a check-in, and I want to check in on a word that is super incredibly powerful that we've been teaching our children for years. But what if by accident we've been teaching them to say it in a way that is less effective than it really could be? And what's that word? It's sorry. A lot of times, as parents, because we're moving through life at such a fast pace, we tend to teach our children sorry as a quick band-aid to stop, problem solve, and move on in a situation where something has happened, where someone's either been injured or there was an accident, hurt feelings, and we just want to move on. So sorry is like the end-all, beginning, be-all. It's like if you open the book and the only word in it is sorry. But there's so much more to that story than we're telling with that one word. And we're really not doing our children a service or justice by not teaching them that whole story. So I want to check in with you about using the word sorry with your child in a way that builds empathy with them. And I want you to step back from coming from the place of when you see something happen, that you are in a place of requiring your child to say sorry in that moment. Because actions speak louder than words, and I can help you, and you can help your child learn empathy in a way that sorry is all over that book, even if it's not mentioned once in a story. Okay? So let's talk about it. Let's take a moment. Let's have two bikes that the kids are riding, and they crash into each other. And someone's hurt, someone's injured, two children are upset, moms come running over, and, most likely one mom's mad, right? Because somebody, there's tears, there's crying, there's bikes, there's carnage. Life is, it's on in that moment. It's really easy to just tell your child, say sorry, say you're sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, because we're panicked or we're fearful, of either the recourse or of the other person's frustration or their feelings, or because we don't really know what to do. But what if you slow down a little bit, right? And you start doing what's called sports casting, where you're taking that moment and turning it into a teachable moment, and you're giving the children the opportunity to work out what's happened. Now, obviously, you got to deal with the injuries first, right? So you check in and say, oh my goodness, you guys have crashed bikes. I see that little friend here is crying, and that you're sad, and I can see that you look really upset. So let's help pick up the bikes. Let's see if we can help our friend up. Let's see if we can clean off and check out what's going on. And then you check in with each child, right? You're down low. You're trying to stay calm, because if you come in there guess what? All the emotions just went up. And now you've got a bigger situation to deal with. I'm telling you, I have parents, and they come out and, they'll see something in the yard. What's going on with my child? Wait a minute. We're here to help them work through it, not to stir up the pot, right? Okay, so you come in and try to be as calm as you can and check in and sportscast. I see that the bikes have crashed. I see that, our friend's injured, now I'm going to teach my child to check in. I'm going to check in and, are you okay? Tell me what happened. If they feel like they can use the words right in that moment. Maybe they can't, so I continue to sportscast. Well, it looks like we need to take the bikes apart. They're stuck together. It looks like maybe we could get some water and wipe off your knee. I'm seeing that it's scraped. Would you like to wipe it off in that moment? So everything in my actions are offering empathy for the other person and my child. If everything's calmed down and I can get my child to talk a little bit, that would be great. Maybe I can get them to say what happened, because I don't always know. I just assumed, if I saw them colliding really hard, maybe I come in with some assumptions that somebody did it on purpose, or maybe someone else comes with that assumption. Another mom, your child crashed into my child on purpose, but at that point, I want to meet my child where they're at, what they're going through, and how to move through it, and how to not only check in with themselves, but the other person. So, I will pull my child aside if I can and say, hey, what happened? And if it was them who caused this accident, I'd say, well, here's what we can do to help. And maybe my child doesn't want to help. Sometimes fear, and worry, just being overwhelmed, a child just doesn't really know how to get involved. And a quick band-aid we want to do is tell them you're sorry. Say you're sorry for this. But really what's interesting is what we can do is offer a model and go in there and say, well, I'm going to go over and see what I can do to help. And, and see if they're okay. And if you'd like, you can get some ice, or you can grab a wet paper towel and help me clean off this, or we can put that back. Offering suggestions and opportunities for my child's actions to show empathy towards what's happened. And again, in that moment, what if they were mad and they did that on purpose? But I still have to deal with the fact that this child is hurt and they deserve attention in this moment as well. And maybe there's a parent involved and they're ticked off. So I can model what it is I'd want my child to say rather than demand and command that they say sorry and then punish them for their actions. It's more important in that moment that I model what I want for my child. And I can say to them, I saw your bikes crash, and it looks to me like this was something where my child was angry or frustrated and crashed into you. So I want to apologize. I want you to know that I don't, and our agreement in our house is we are gentle with our bodies and our bikes. So we're going to be putting our bikes away, but I want to see if there's something I can do to help you. So even more than saying sorry, I come in there and I offer empathy in the situation and I listen to what's said to me, and I can even hear back. I'm hearing you're frustrated, you're angry about this. I understand. I would be too. Everything I've said without saying sorry directly really is saying sorry. And of course I can say the word sorry, but I say it because I mean it, because I'm genuinely sorry for what's happened, not because I want to solve and quickly, make the problem go away. And then with my child, and I can check in with them, they've seen and they have the opportunity to understand what it is to model empathy towards someone else. And if in that moment I check in with them, they're like, well, Mom, I'm angry because that child's bike cut me off 3 times and I got so mad I just crashed into him. I can even offer empathy to my child. It sounds like you were angry that your friend wasn't riding the bike the way you wanted them to. What else could you have done besides crash into him? Because our agreement is that bikes are for riding. And when you crash and hurt somebody, we have to put the bike away. So what else could you have done? And then afterwards, I can check in with them. Do you think there's something we can do to let this friend know that you still care about them? That yes, you were mad? And I'll offer my child a little bit later to maybe write a card or check back in later in the situation. It's never too late to come back and try to smooth something over if they truly feel like it's something they want to do. If they don't, I'm just going to ask you to not push them into a place of sorry, because then sorry becomes a manipulation to basically stop the problem. Like my children throwing their clothes all over the house. Guys, your clothes are everywhere. Sorry, Mom. It's like their way of not even taking ownership of their actions. It's just a quick little Band-Aid moment. Someone cuts you off and you're driving and someone goes, sorry, and they're still right in front of you, right? They really don't mean it. They don't care. They're just saying sorry to get through it and move on. So I'm just checking in with you to find the power of the word sorry by offering empathy first and that word sorry at the very end of the train, and actually see if you can have everything that you do in that moment convey sorry and empathy without even pulling out that word. And notice that it's even more powerful. And then when sorry does come out, you really genuinely mean it. So, all right, there's our check-in, a little long, but I hope that gives you the information you need. And, oh yeah, I'm sorry it was really long. All right, I got to throw a little joke in there. Take care. Bye.